Hello, Mufelola. Good evening. Welcome. Bose Fayajola, Daniel Atsenga, Eric Osadolo, Mayowa, Stella Nuhu, Lola Shurunke, Anne-Marie, Ladi Shurunke, just came in, Patti Bafu, Omonike, T.Y. Moore, Gift Blessing, Emmy Bobby, Gbemi Orekoya, Stella Nuhu, Thank God Emerson, Bumi Oluwatosin, Darlene Madu, Folashade Kikelomo, Nena Shi. Oh, look who just came in, Pastor Derek. Amazing. Welcome. Ojekwa Israel, Rochelle White, Pastor Fordju, Paul Good News, Gregory, Gladys. Welcome everyone. Now, as you are coming in, let's go share the link to the message. Let's go share a link to this message, and I'm sure a lot of women will boycott me tonight, but maybe some other ones will come in, or some men will come in, because today I'm talking about the second part of the message, what African men want to tell their wives. What African men want to tell their wives. So, if you are there in the morning and you are not happy with that message, most likely you are taking off right now. But let's go share the link. At least let's hear what are the other things that I feel that African men want to tell their wives. Like I said, these are not necessarily my positions. These are not my beliefs or my convictions. They are just things that we need to address, especially if these things are, questions that are being raised by some men. At least according to the women who spoke to me, they said they want to know. They said they want to know what the African men are thinking, and what men in general are thinking about them and what they would like to tell them. They want to know so that they would know how to conduct themselves. So, all right, here we go. I hope you have all shared the link. If you have shared the link, then we'll be ready to take off. Now, I've been giving you maybe 7 points or 8 points in the morning. Now the next point. What are the other things that African men want to tell their wives? Now, tomorrow I'll be talking on regular people, regular men, not just Africans. I just want to do this for Africans. But from tomorrow I'll be talking in general about men, what women need to know about men. But this is what African men want to tell their wives. Now, there is something, especially this is with Nigerian men. I don't know if this is common with other African countries or not. But there is something that African men refer to as nagging. Nagging. They don't like, Pastor Derek said, I'm not African, but I still want to know. Okay, good. So everyone is welcome, even if you are not African. Now, there is something that African men call nagging. Nagging, I think every woman in Africa knows what is nagging. The African men tend to accuse women of nagging. Nagging is when the lady is trying to make some point to the man, and the lady keeps on coming back to that topic or keeps on talking about that particular request, keeps on talking about this one and the same thing all the time, and the man thinks that, hey, you've spoken to me about this one time is enough. Don't keep on reminding me. Or they say in Nigerian term, they say, don't keep on nagging on me about this one. Don't keep on nagging me. Don't keep on nagging on me. Stop nagging, they say. So when a lady complains about something, the men say you are nagging. When a lady keeps on repeating the same thing and over and over again, the men complain. They seem to get frustrated and say, hey, get off my back, kind of. Stop nagging. So nagging, according to the African man, is when you keep on repeating one and the same thing to them. When you keep on repeating one and the same thing, they don't want to keep on hearing one and the same thing over and over again. So they tell you, stop nagging. I don't, I've heard you. It's enough. Or okay, quit talking about it. I'm going to come back to it. Stop reminding me of the point you already made. If you said it one time or two times, it's enough. Get off my back. Stop knocking me in the head about this thing. So the African man will always say, you are irritating them by keeping on reminding them or repeating to them the same question, or by coming after them and keep on being at their back or on them about one thing, wanting them to do one and the same thing. When you keep on telling them the same thing, and you are persistent about something, and you keep on talking, whining, complaining, murmuring. Nigerian people call it nagging. Stop nagging, and they will let you know that no amount of nagging will cause them to do what they don't want to do. So no matter how much you talk or you nag or you knock at them and you keep on repeating the thing, if they don't want to do it, they are not going to do it. They want you to believe them at the first time. They want you to take them at face value. If they tell you that they are going to do it, they will do it. But you nagging doesn't make them to do it. It irritates them more. That is what some African men want to tell their wives. That is what some African men want to tell their wives. Stop nagging. Your nagging irritates me and makes me to rather refuse to do what you want me to do. But trust me, when you tell me something, I promise you that I'm going to do it. Believe me, I'm going to do it. Stop nagging. No amount of nagging will make me to perform what you want me to perform. So that is one point that African men want to tell their wives. Now, let's go to the next point. I'm going to give you as many as possible to the next point that African men like to talk about. Like to tell their wife about. What African men would like to tell their wives. Sorry, if you see there is a comment there coming from me. It's about HMT. So those of you who want to come to HMT, we're having one HMT in January in Ukraine here. So if you are really desperate for HMT, you might want to come. And if you want to come in January, follow that link over there, and you'll be able to get all the information. Now, so the next point today, what the African men want to tell their wives. African men wish to tell their wife that make us number one in your life. African men would like to tell their wives that, you know what, don't put anything ahead of me as a husband. Don't put the children ahead of me. You could say they don't want to compete with their children. So African men want to tell their wives, don't put anybody ahead of me. If I'm your husband, I want to be the most important person in your life. I don't want to be second to the children. I don't want to be second to your mother. I don't want to be second to to the mother-in-law and friends and family members. I don't want to be second to your career. I don't want to be second to your work, to your business. I don't want to be second to anything. I want to be the supreme Lord, and I want to be the master. I know, no, they don't say it like that, but make me the priority. African men would like to let their wives make them the priority, to let them know that they are number one. They are the most important person in their lives. Now it's another question if the men also make the ladies the most important person in his life or not. I'm not sure, but the men want the ladies to make them the most important person in her life. So an African husband wants to tell the wife that please don't put that child, don't put those children ahead of me. I must have my own time. I am the head of the family, so I want to be number one. I want to be the most important person in your life. That is one thing that African men want to tell their wives. They don't want you to put your family members especially, ahead of them. They don't want you to put your family members ahead of them. So they are trying to tell you, you know what, put the family where they belong, put the children where they belong. But I am your husband. My needs come first. My desires come first. So I want to be number one in your life. I want to be number one in your life, and I want you to give me that priority. That place of priority is what I need. Okay, I see that Bode Awolana just joined. Bode, can you give the link? Can you provide the link for my books in Nigeria, where people could get my books in Nigeria if you can? If you are hearing me, provide the link where people could get my books in Nigeria, please. And you can put that on. And also there is another comment from me that is talking about those of you, the cards. So those of you who want to be able to invite people to this program, you need a card or an invitation. There is a link there that you could follow, and through that you could also invite people. You could invite people to the program. Yeah, so that's number 2 thing that the African men want. They don't want to come after your career. They don't want to come after your business. They don't want to come after your work. They don't want to come after your children. They don't want to come after your family. They don't want to come after your brothers, your sister. They want to be your husband, and they want to be there as the head of the family, and they want you to make them the most important person in their lives. They want you to make them the most important person in their lives. Okay, Omonika said, if you don't want someone to keep repeating something as a man, you must try and take action immediately. Okay, that is concerning the first point, when the men say the ladies should stop nagging. Okay, so Omonika is responding. She's a lady. She's saying, then the men should act on time so that the ladies don't need to nag or keep on repeating one and the same thing. Oluwatope said, yes, African men want to be second to none. That is the second point now I made. They don't want to be second to anyone. Davida said, HMT is the deal changer. Make sure you sign up to go. You will have an experience of a lifetime. TY says, some men are so upset when you bring the baby to bed, even when the baby is still so young. They say put the baby in the cot or in his room. Yeah, that is so true. Gift Amos says, the Bible says it is better to live in a desert than to be with a nagging woman. Wow, if men don't like nagging women, they are right. It is biblical. Well, that is Proverbs 21:19. Proverbs 21:19, okay. Maria Makajiola said, they don't even want to come after your purpose. Okay, the husband don't even want to come after your purpose. They want to come as number one. Yeah, I think that's a very good observation. I think the men should actually demand to come after your purpose. After God and after your purpose. They are actually number 3. But they want to come as number 1, really. Maybe they shouldn't take the place of God, for sure. Yep. Okay, so you got number one need of the African, I mean, the number one point that I'm making today. I gave you so many points this morning. Today, the number one thing we spoke about was that African men want to tell their wives to stop nagging. Don't nag. By nagging, you don't get anything resolved. You don't get anything resolved. Yeah, so you don't get anything resolved by nagging. Just tell us what you want us to do, and don't nag. Don't be nagging on us. So that's number one. Number two that I mentioned is African man wants you to put him as number one, not as number two, not as number three, not second to anybody, not second to your child, not second to your mother, not second to anybody. He wants to be number one. He wants to be number one. So the next point, the next thing that an African husband wants to tell the wife is, we love sex. Don't use sex as a weapon of manipulation. Don't use sex against us as a weapon of manipulation or bargaining. Don't use sex against us as a weapon of manipulation or bargaining. But this is maybe, I don't know, I think this is not just about African men, maybe this is about men everywhere. So men are trying to say, ladies, don't use sex to manipulate us. Use anything you want to manipulate, but not sex. And they are probably trying to tell you that might be one of the reasons why some of them are promiscuous, the men, but why they are looking outside, because they are not having sex every time they want it. So African man wants to have his sex anytime he wants it. So he says, don't use it to manipulate. Don't use sex as a weapon. Don't use sex to get what you want. Don't use sex to push him to the wall. Don't use sex to be an instrument of discussion. Don't use sex to be a weapon of bending him. Don't use sex to be a weapon to use to bend him and to manipulate him and to bargain for something you need or the other, bargain in the other room, but sex, or bargain in the parlor, but sex, let them have it when they need it. That is not just for African men, I guess. That's for most men. Nena says, I think what some men call nagging differs. They call nagging, but I think it is not true all the time, because at times they don't want to accept correction. So they talk about a woman nagging. Yeah, well, we passed that point already. Now we are talking about don't use sex as a weapon of manipulation. Elizabeth Ali actually agrees. Elizabeth Ali says many women are guilty of this. Many people actually use sex as an instrument of manipulation. Fola Shadeki Keloma said, I don't think so. God first, children second. If he's a good husband, then he can have third place. That's my take. Wow. So you put children as second, eh? I thought it's your calling that should be second. Okay. Nellie Brown said, Pastor, you are so right. I have read that in a lot of books, but many women still don't listen. Okay, they use sex as manipulation, as an instrument of manipulation, of getting what they need. Yetunde said, what happens when you are upset because he's not seeing things from your point of view? Weapon of mass destruction? No, I don't think it's a weapon in that sense. When a woman is upset and a woman is not in the mood, you should just tell the truth. Just tell him the truth that you are not in the mood, or you are, you are sick if you are really sick, or you are not in the mood, and tell him you are not in the mood. I don't think that a woman has to be a slave, a sex slave, going to sleep whenever she doesn't even want it. I mean, in the sense that, when she's frustrated or she's angry, she might be feeling she's been abused or raped. So we don't want a situation where a woman will put herself in a rape situation. Just have to come out and tell your husband the truth that, you cannot make love right now because you are not feeling good. Oluyombo Adenike said, if your husband wants sex, then let him have it, but don't use it as a way of getting stuff from him. You should understand your man and the right time to ask whatever you want from him. Well, that's what the men are asking for. Patty Bafu said, it's hard to be intimate when you are not treated right. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That you still have to tell him that you cannot because you are not feeling well. TY says, wow, yes, it's carrot and stick. If you are a good boy, then you get treats. If you are bad, you go to the naughty corner. Oluwatope said, don't use sex as an instrument of manipulation on an African man, please. Not just African man. I think any man. TY said, personally, I will not do that. I think sex is not a weapon. I'm not selling my body for rewards, but I should be able to also have liberty to say no. Yep. So that's where we are. That's where we are. Next point. I think I should go to the next point now. Don't use weapon as a manipulation. So that one is clear. Next point. This point also is a point that is not my own belief. I don't believe in this, but this is what African men want to tell their wives. And so I'm going to just say it. It doesn't mean that I agree with the way they say it. But African men want to tell their wife, a lot of African men, African husband want to tell his wife that, be careful how you spend that money. Be careful how you spend my money. Be careful how you spend my money. Don't waste my money. Don't be trivial with my money. Don't, be economizing. Be judicious in your use of money. So, yeah, that's one thing. Like I said, I think if you want to know my own opinion about that, you should go and listen to the other messages that I've done before. That's not my opinion, but that's what African men are saying. Don't spend my money anyhow. Maybe not just African men, maybe it's other men too. But I make the money, I'm going to make the money, I'm going to work for the money. I'm going to work for the money, I'm going to bring in the money, but don't waste it. Don't waste it. Be careful the way you spend it. Oluyombo Adenike said, what do you mean wasting money? Do they economize? When they are in bed at night, don't they do have as much as they want? We can also have as much as we want money. Okay. Well, that is one thing that African men would like to say. Personally, I'm not even in the area of giving women money, and then for her to be giving reports and all those kind of things. I think that she has to have as much as she needs, and then she should still have the liberty to spend the money, to make her own money and spend it the way she wants. Derek said, Pastor, I should share. Derek said I should share my own opinion, how I use what my policy is with my wife. I don't even open my own envelope. When I get my blessing, when I get my salary, I don't even open the envelope. I just give everything and hand over everything to my wife immediately. So she's in charge. I don't. In fact, if I need to give tithe and offering, she has to even give me. I have to ask her for money to give as offering or tithe. And besides that, if she has any money or anybody blesses her or she has money from anywhere or she makes her own money, I never even care. I never even ask. Anything she makes or she has, she doesn't have to give me any report about that. Those are our money. And I am in charge of the family. I'm the head of the family. I make money from the family. And she's in charge of managing that money. She's in charge. That's my own. But we're not talking about what men should do properly this time. We were talking to the ladies this time. So I will refrain myself from talking about myself, and I will just tell the ladies more what the men expect you to know or what they want you to know. So that is the attitude of the Nigerian or of the African men. They want to make the money, they want to give it to their wives, but they don't want their wife to waste it. They want their wife to be more economical and to be more, judicious in the way she uses and spends that money. Okay, next point. Next point that the African man wants to tell his wife. The next point the African man wants to tell his wife. Okay, before I give you that next point, let me hear what Paul is saying here. Paul Davis said, every money belongs to the woman of the house. A smart man should know that. But if she is not financially sound, then the most financially sound of the two should be in charge of the money. Brilliant. That is exactly my viewpoint. Judith Ali says, I think when it comes to finance in the family, everyone should stick to what works for him or her. Okay? Darlene says, sir, your type don't come so easy. Oluwatope said, African men don't appreciate wasteful women who lavish their hard-earned money on mundane things. Okay. All right. I hope the ladies are listening to you. Frank says there are some African men that don't even tell their wives how much they make. Oh, wow. TY says, yes, women should make their own money, although my own money is sweeter to spend. Elizabeth says, oh my God, give me a husband like Pastor Sunday. TY says, true, but to be honest, it's hurtful when you are with a man that is stingy. Yep. Nellie Brown said, I don't think any man anywhere likes a wasteful woman. Pearl David said, no woman should ever beg a husband for money to run the house. It is belittling and painful. Moreover, it doesn't make her execute her job as a homemaker well. Yep, that is so true. That is true. Okay. Well, that is the next thing that African men want their wives to know. They want the wife to be not to be wasteful with their money. Nikki Christian say, yes, women are the bank manager of the family, really, in charge of finances. Stella says, it's better the men tell their wives how much they make, or else I will keep asking you for more money forever. Okay. Shinwe said, both men and women do abuse the family finance, so it needs serious planning to ensure that the family has healthy financial strength. Right. Princess Juliet says, everything that belongs to the man is supposed to belong to the two of them, really. So it's not his money anymore, it's their money. But Elizabeth says, but even in running the house, she still has to use the money wisely. Pearl says, no matter who handles the money, there must be check and balances anyway. Hope Monday says, men could go out and spend 100,000 on a sitting with friends, 100,000 K, I don't know what that is, K. And when their wife buys a shoe for 20K, the man says it's a waste of money. Some men are so self-centered. So he spends 100,000, right, at a sitting. And then when she buys a shoe for just 20, 1/5 of that, they say she's wasteful. Efren Soto says, Pastor Sunday, I believe a man should love, respect, and support his wife and be more than humble to serve her and give her the right to be herself and the best stewardship at home. I will call this wisdom, and a house will prosper as per God's will. Yep. TY says, to be honest, I think managing home finance must be properly planned and both parties agree. Shioma, can you give your telephone so that people will know how to get my books in Nigeria? Shioma, give your telephone, please. Give a link to your phone, how to get my books in Nigeria. Okay, Flair Karen Matip says, a very independent woman can look like a rival to the husband. Men have to be careful about this. TY says, my dad used to say the wife belongs to him and so does anything she owns. So every time he collects money from my mom, he doesn't pay it back. Wow. I thought it's supposed to be the opposite. Your mom is supposed to be collecting money from your dad, not your dad collecting money from your mom. Ifweko P says, however it is, I believe both parties should have their own financial freedom, and in case where a partner can work, he or she should be given allowance so he or she can be independent financially. Okay, well, just telling you what the men would like to tell their wives. So that is about that, and I think we should continue now. This other point is a little bit sensitive to me, I think, but this is what African men are saying among themselves. And what the African men are saying is, we be careful. The husband wants to tell, the African man wants to tell the wife, be careful with the opposite sex. We could be envious and we could be jealous. We are jealous, or we could be jealous husbands. So be careful with your old friends. Basically, men normally say, I don't want you to be friendly with your old boyfriends. I don't want you to have any relationship or any contact with your old boyfriends. I don't want you to have contact with your old schoolmates, or maybe that you are close with in your school days. I don't want you to be friendly with them on Facebook or on social media. Some men even go to the extent of saying, going to the some of them go to the extent of going to the Facebook of the wife and finding out who is that person, who is this person. And of course, some of them don't even want you to maintain relationship with your ex-husband and things like that. So, but this is a very complex situation, because on one hand, the man wants the woman to trust him, but on the other hand, the man is not even trying to trust the lady at all. And especially when she's divorced, they might be having children together. I think they still need an amount of relationship so that the children, so that they will be able to, plan for the children and things like that. But the men, this is one of the things that African men are worried about. So African men are concerned about their husband, about their wives having male friends. In fact, to a large extent, most African men don't want their wives to have male friends. They don't want their wives to have male friends. Yeah, so that's another thing that African men are concerned with, and African men would like to tell their wives. So, is that right or is not right? I think you people have to discuss it together. I think this is a case whereby the man and the woman will have to discuss this kind of thing together. They have to talk it over and find out, what you would like to do. But to just wipe off your past and all the friends you used to have just because they are of the opposite sex, I don't know if that's right or not, but every family will have to decide what is right for them. But I'm not of that opinion at all. I don't really care. I think we need trust. Okay, TY says, wow, so what if your job makes it impossible for you not to have male friends or colleagues? That if you have a lot of male friends, well, that's why I say you've got to discuss it with your spouse or with your husband. That's why that's where the trust comes in. You've got to talk it over with him. Elizabeth says, but it's okay for a woman to have male friends if the man trusts his wife. He should be okay with that. Flair Karin Matip says, if that is the case, then let it be vice versa. Let it be vice versa. Let the men also stop all their contacts with female friends. It's going to be a tough one for the men. Paul says, some monkeys are campaigning to be in your life, not even qualified to be friends yet. And they start asking you who is who in pictures, timeline, who you smile with, and who is in your phone and all that. Wow. Yeah, they are monkeys for real. Beatty says, not good to have a jealous husband, not recommendable to marry a jealous man. Jealousy is poison. Controlling is pure flesh. Where is the Holy Spirit then? Yeah, good question. Good, good thought. I agree with you. But that's what African men want their wives to know. Judith says, you can't have friends, then I will be your best friend, maybe. That is the option. That is a better solution. Elizabeth said, I do not support a woman married or not to still be in communication with the ex. Totally wrong. Maria Macagiola said, the reason they are jealous is because they think women behave the way they do. Yeah, that's true. It's the highest hypocrisy. Some even ban their wives from social media. Ooh, wow. So, which is a confirmation to the fact that this is really one of the things that African men want. Esther Kuganja said, that sounds very possessive. Yeah, I think so. And domineering too. Oh, Elizabeth Ali said, I knew that point would come up. It means you've been around some African men then. Well, Judith says, yeah, Pastor, you just nailed it. The bottom line is just to trust each other. Folashade says, only a man with inferiority complex will find that a threat to have a male friend. Well, I don't know why too. I'm surprised why men are concerned about that, but that's one of their needs. Pearl David said, no woman can maintain an insecure, jealous, or a controlling man's ego trip. Ladies, don't start something you cannot maintain. Yeah, if he's jealous and envious, don't even start the journey. That's what Paul is saying. Joy says, men can't stop being jealous. That's just the truth. Wow. TY says, you can't be my only friend, and I can't be your only friend. We will die out of boredom. Yeah. You say men can't stop jealousy? I don't jealous. I don't have any iota of jealous at all. I don't. It doesn't even bother me at all. Ola Martin says it all boils down to trust. That's right. But Gregory is saying here, it is not right to have male friends because as long as you still see him and you are in contact with him, then that is not safe. So Gregory thinks it's not safe for a married wife to be having contact with the ex or things like that. Hope says, Pastor Sunday, why do some men still keep in touch with their high school female friends and object their wives from keeping any of their male friends? Yeah, well, I think it boils down to what Maria Macagiola says. I think Maria says that men think that women are just like them. But to tell you the truth, men are actually thinking that women are worse than them. Among themselves, when men talk, they actually believe that women are more promiscuous. But the truth is that women are not. They are not even as 10% as promiscuous as the men. It is the men that are more promiscuous. Veronica Fumi says, lack of trust can ruin a marriage from the start. I think the best thing is to trust each other. That is the sensible thing and healthy thing to do. She got, some men have so many female friends but keep playing Sherlock Holmes with their wives. Yeah. Nelly says, I know a guy who left a girl he likes because she was too kind and overcaring to his friends. He complained that she was always asking about them like she was their closest friend. It made him so jealous and uncomfortable till he left her. He also said he felt like she might cheat on him with one of those friends because of how much concern she shows for them. I think our intentions were right to accept his friends, but she went overboard with it and he got insecure. Yeah, unfortunately. Ifeoma said, I think when there is no trust, a man does that. But if a man trusts the wife, there will be no room for that. Yeah. Paul David said, African men need to stop being hypocrites. How is it humanly possible for me to stop talking to my friends just because you are in the picture? Trust is more important to me than love. Because of trust is not there. Because if trust is not there, the foundation is faulty and doomed to collapse. Yeah. Monica said, Pastor Sunday, why do men do that? They can be free to have male and female friends, but wife should not have a friend or an old schoolmate. This is not fair. Men are just too jealous. Jide Craig says, I think this is a case of being matured. If the woman is into a business which involves meeting many men, no, there is no problem, okay? Beatrice says, a man also should respect a woman whether when she is married and possibly be good friend with the husband as well. TY says, wow, so what if your job makes it impossible for you? Okay, yeah, I think I read that. Princess Juliet says, you are just the best teacher. Thank you for all the teachings. God bless you. Daniel Asenga says, the best thing to do is just to trust each other, both men and women. Elizabeth Ali said she grew up with men, so up to now she has many male friends. Shigo Nwafo said, male friends are one thing, but ex-lovers is another thing altogether. Okay, that is one thing to consider there. TY agrees. TY says you cannot be friends with your ex because you know the story about old firewood. So Pearl says, it's funny that guys get jealous when I'm talking to my father, uncles, brothers on the phone. That is funny because we are our friend and very close to, so they treat me well and I light up. You can't be jealous of my father. Why will I waste precious time explaining such a thing to you? Wow. Monica said, Pastor, it's really risky for a woman to still be friends with the ex because anything can happen from there. Well, TY says, Dr. Adulaja, a friend of mine married to an insanely married man. One day, a girlfriend sent her a text and used endearment. Look, hello, darling, the husband beat her black and blue, terrifying. But she still stayed incredible. Sometimes the way TY writes, I don't understand. Elizabeth said both partners must know who they are, their strengths and weaknesses. Some women can have a healthy relationship with men. Anne Marie said you should have most friends as mutual friends. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. You had life before meeting, and in as much as you have to regulate friendship with the opposite, you shouldn't alienate a woman also from having her friends. A jealous man is a safety threat to a woman. Yeah, that's good. That could lead to anything. Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, most African men have a lot of friends they go out with, including ladies. Meanwhile, they don't want their wives to mix with friends. But they are allowed, okay? Not good at all, sir. It should be the same. It should be on equal ground. Well, you know, I think these are some of the things that need to be discussed before you even get into the relationship in the first place. TY says, I do something as a rule. If I'm a friend with somebody, a man, when he marries, I extend that friendship to the wife. Courtesy demands that I do so. Okay, I think I should give you the next point now. I don't know how many points I've given you already. Let me see if I could give you a couple more before we go today. African men want you as the wife to pay special attention to the upbringing of their children. African man wants to tell the wife to pay attention to and to see that the children are well brought up. Basically, you could say that African men want the woman to be responsible for the upbringing of the children. By the way, if you have all not shared the link, let's go ahead and share this link, because this might be helpful to some people. So let's go ahead and share this message, please. You should have the share button under the video. So African men want to tell their wives to be meticulous and to be careful, to be particularly to pay specific and particular attention to bringing up their children. So African men really are trusting the lives and the destiny of their children in the lives of their wives. So which means they might not be doing too much with the children, but they want the wife to be responsible for taking care of the children, for bringing up the children, and for making the children to grow up as godly and responsible children. So African men don't want their children to be unmannered, untaught, and to be loosely brought up. So African men are open on their wives, and they are trusting in their wives that their wives will be the ones responsible to bring to bring up their children and to make them responsible and to make them wonderful. Derek Schneider said, I also wonder how you are never jealous regarding your wife. It's like you are immune to jealousy. Yes, I'm immune to it, actually. I don't even understand what jealousy means. I don't even understand how it feels. First of all, because I trust her. Secondly, because I don't really care what happens. Even if she does anything wrong, I've already forgiven her in my mind. I don't have any, before we married, I'd taken that decision, and I've considered anything in my mind. If anything happens, that I will already forgive her even before we married. I had already considered that, and I'd already forgiven her anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Okay, with the children, Shigo says, when the child is good, it is the father's child. But when otherwise, when the child is not so good, it is the woman's child. Yeah, that is an African proverb right there. Ugo Emeka said, these African men are looking for beasts of burden. What kind of selfishness is that? Because how can a woman just be bringing up the children? Paul says, isn't this the responsibility of both the father and mother to bring up children? Another way of a lazy African man putting all the responsibility on the woman. Yeah, well, you know my thinking in that regards, that fathers must be in the family and fathers must play their role. But in Africa, the men seem to be putting all the responsibility on the lady. Most of the responsibility. They expect the woman to be the one to bring up the children. But, father's role, they have to be taught. It means the men there needs to be taught about the role of a father. Maria said they want to abdicate their responsibility, and they do so in droves. Yeah. Well, that's why my teaching last week on the behavioral patterns of boys and girls who grow up without a father is so needful to African men especially. Angela says, sometimes I wonder what the role of the men are. She carries the baby for 9 months and then she grooms the kids, and then the kids bear your name. When the kids start getting closer to their mom or begin to behave like their mom, the men start complaining. Well, that is why, those teachings, I was spending so much time to talk about the men and to talk about the role of men and the role of fathers in the society. And the reason why I was spending that much time is because I know that the men need to be informed about some of these things. And that's why it's our responsibility for every one of us. We need to spread the word and make sure that, that we let the men know what they're supposed to do. But as of now, this is where the African men are. They want the women to take care of the children. Sandra said, Pastor, how can they say that? But they are our kids and our joint responsibility to bring them up. This is not right. Well, that's why, I'm saying that you have to discuss with your spouse. Elizabeth said, Pastor, how can women raise responsible children without responsible men? That's a height of responsibility. Yeah, I know. Shinwei said, the women are responsible to bring up the children in the past, but now the men beginning to take part. I must say that some men are good in this area, especially those who are willing to learn and get involved. Gregory is saying, yes, the men are right, because the men, because the mother spend more time with their kids than the father do. So that's the argument of the men. Gregory is speaking for the African men. Dr. T.Y. said, Dr. Adelaja, yeah, you are different, but you are not normal. Sorry. Excuse me, you are not like other human beings. Well, we must make other human beings be like this then. Paul David said, that's it, like the case of monkey, they walk, baboon, they shop or something. Paul David said, that's like African men saying, I am a sperm donor, the rest is yours. And on graduation and wedding day, I will wear nice clothes to come and dance and eat. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And Marie say, on that point, they even quote the Bible on this one. An obedient child is the pride of the father, and a wayward child is the heartache of the mother. They blame the woman when the child is wayward. Well, yeah. So that's another thing that the men want. African men want their wives to know about, and. The last thing I want to mention today TY say, yes, jealousy is a turn off, really. It scares me. I once had a boyfriend long ago who threatened to cut my face because another man called on me. I cried my eyes out. I ran for my life, terrified. Irritated, many men have learned the error of leaving the kids to the woman alone. They share the responsibilities, especially the born-again Christians. But you are right, they are the exceptions. Maria said, it's really not looking good for the African men at all. Marshu said, it's really a shame that some demand all this from women without thinking about the feelings of their wives. Pearl says, many African girls in America don't even send invitation to Africa for their father to be in their wedding because they don't know him. And some do it to honor their mother. It's a painful experience to watch. Wow. Hope says it's a collective effort, but sometimes we men do it the way we know best. It's a societal thing, and we will change if we know a better way. That's why we are here to learn. Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, you are right. African men always want their wives to take responsibility for the children by training them and bringing them in the way of the Lord for them. Well, please go and share the link. If you have not shared the link yet, it might be a good idea to do that. The last point, let me see, what is the time? Is my time over yet? Yeah. The last point I think the African men would like to tell, what African men would like to tell their wives is, stop spying on me. Stop spying on me. Stop spying on my telephone. Stop reading my text message. Stop going through my telephone line. Stop spying on me on my Facebook message. Stop spying on me. Trust your husband. So that is the last thing I think the African men want to tell their wives. But Fleck is writing something here. Some African men complain about African women because African women run away from them for other men. The solution against this is very simple. The traditional rule, don't have enough success before women. Yeah, the traditional African mindset has to change to become godly. So Jide is calling this monitoring spirit. Yeah, I think that is the last thing I would like to talk about today, about what African men don't like about what their wives to do. They don't like what Jide is calling here monitoring spirit. So the African men don't want their wives to monitor them, I guess. So, yeah, well, that's it. The mission accomplished. My time is up today. I want to hear your opinion from this morning's message and this evening's message. There were different opinions in the morning. Many people were against me mentioning these things. Some say you go ahead and do it. But, I think at least I voiced them out, and now let's see if it benefits you or not. And maybe some already know that it benefits them. It benefits, but I think the men were excited in the morning. Maybe they are excited now too. I don't know, but some women told me that it's better to still know these things anyway. O.D. Carroll said, I think it all depends on what we believe or think of others, though. A female friend asked me recently why I'm not jealous of her and evil deed, and said things to me to make me jealous. One man's meat is another man's poison. Shiga said that monitoring spirit works both ways. So women don't want their husband to monitor them as well. Okay. Oluwatope Sheung said, African man will say, don't be the FBI trailing my steps everywhere. Obi say, ladies, you are now safe, or it's finished. Judith said, if you trust him, you will not spy on him. And if you are not hiding anything, you will not bother if he spies on you or not. Shinwe said, it is the shitting spirit that encourages monitoring spirit. Elizabeth Ali said, I don't have a monitoring spirit, but God has given me the intuition to be a good detective. T.Y. say, you done great, my mentor. I really enjoyed this, your teaching. I will save it, and especially the reactions, brilliant. You are the best. Lola said, you did well, sir. Winifred, why are they scared of being monitored if they have no skeleton in their cupboard? Ireti said the African man doesn't want to be monitored because they want to have their freedom to cheat. Wow. Shupwa Maka said, Pastor, you are right. I think African women should know these things, though it doesn't give me men the opportunity to be lousy and carefree. Sheung said, men of the black continent aren't bad at all, after all. Judith said, thank you, Pastor, for your time and shared knowledge. Maria Wakajola said, it's been a revelation of sorts, but it's highlighted a lot of problems and also explained a lot that is not right in African society and marriages. It's quite depressing, though. But you appreciate it, Pastor. Well, that's why you must use my other teachings to balance these things. And but from tomorrow morning, I will begin to talk to you on general terms, what you must know about your husband, or what your husband, wants you to know. Hope said, but Pastor, if the men are sincerely accountable to their wives, then the spying will be minimal. Yep, I guess so. Gregory says, I will not monitor my wife, but let her not monitor me. Well, tomorrow, let me see what topic I want to talk to you about tomorrow. I think I will talk to you tomorrow about what makes a husband. And okay, don't let me give you the topic yet. We'll wait. I'm going to be talking to the ladies all throughout this week anyway. So you ladies, get ready. Maybe not about African ladies, not about African men, but I'm going to be talking to the women in general. Anne Marie says, as for this one, you wouldn't even get me doing this. Your phone is your business and your activities don't concern me. I was never jealous or noisy in my ex's activities. He claimed I didn't love him enough, and it's abnormal for me as a woman not to be. Paul says, men are afraid of women because we don't have to monitor. We just know when we smell a rat in a clean space. Pastor, as for me, I'm too busy being complete and fulfilling my destiny. I don't have time spying on a man that has chosen not to be a part of it by purpose and destiny. If he wants to cheat, he has easily deleted himself from my life. Galina says, thank you, Pastor Sunday, for your time for us, for sharing your wisdom, for answering our questions, and for your sincerity. Thank you. Monica says, Pastor Sunday, thanks so much for this teaching. I have really learned a lot. God bless you. Shinwe, I love my African brothers. Kudos to you all. We shall see in the mirror of love. Winifred, Pastor, I really appreciate all your teachings. God bless you. Great. Anyway, African men are still the best. Nikki, thank you, Pastor. Today's teaching is very helpful indeed, just like the rest of your teachings. Shioma said, please share. Let's get more African men on this platform. Elizabeth, thank you so much, Pastor. I'm going back to the drawing board because these African men and their expectations somewhat is selfish to me. Pastor Lola said, thank you, Pastor Sunday. The teaching is appreciated. Mashu Esong, my own conclusion to the teaching today is for our men to apply all the studies we have had in the past weeks on how to treat women, and then all you are asking from women will be very easy for women to do, and even more. Sow good seed and you will reap good fruits. Davida said, it's great to know what people's unspoken expectations are. Very helpful to having a good relationship. Flem Karen, we women are learning, Pastor. This teaching is also very useful for men. It helps them to know what is wrong in their traditional way of thinking. Nelly Brown, great job with this teaching, Pastor. Thank you very much. Ufoma, the African man is molded by his culture, and that culture is an oppressive one. I was so determined not to marry from my tribe because of their primitive pride, but God did it that I met a man who was totally different. TY, wow, so we are still on our radar. Can't wait for tomorrow. My mentor, I'm loving those family teachings. Thank God, Emerson says, I don't understand why they say monitoring or cheating. How could one be monitoring when he is busy with his or her business? I don't understand anyway. Elizabeth, Pastor, you are simply the best. Patty Bafu, thank you, Pastor. This is helpful, though some points are hard to hear. Ugo Ebeka said, this is phenomenal teaching, sir. I'm going to sit down with my hobby and review the list. I'm hoping the man has not been suffering in silence. So I have always assumed he is very matured because we live above most of this. Thank you, sir. Ola Martin, thank you, sir, for your teaching. You are the best, and we all are learning from the best. Betty Mueller, thank you for giving us this platform. I really enjoy too much. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless.